Good
wow.
evening. Aloha. It's the Aloha Hour with Edwin and Mike. Oh, let me see if I still have that brand. That was so long ago. Hey,
I
Edwin.
I wonder if I can do an impression of Gabe doing an impression of me. That actually tickled me a little bit.
Yeah. It's like, uh, he's a team player.
Is it that? Well, good for him. Good for him. Loyalty is important.
He's a
Who
team
is he,
player.
by the way? And I don't mean that in a derogatory fashion. I just
He's a colorist.
he's a color. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
well, that's cool. Well, colorists are in demand.
They are in demand, and he's getting plenty of work from Comicsgate. So,
Good for him. Well, people gotta make a living.
Taco King. Oh yeah. Oh, gee, did I have my Twitter page up? Gosh, so silly of me. Here, let me put Shadow of the Conqueror up there.
I think the caption said eating John Malin's lunch.
Who's John Malin?
I don't know.
No, I don't. This doesn't ring any bells. Ugh, I've got all this tea at the bottom of my glass. Hold on a second. I mean, tea leaves. I don't know how I broke the freaking tea bag or something. I got tea leaves in the back. Never mind. What's up, Edwin?
What's going on, Mr. Miller?
Oh, not much. Just had a very uncomfortable couple. I don't know how long I was on there. It felt like an eternity.
Well, I saw that, but you were promoting Enemies of Self, yeah, for Shadowversity.
Well, that was the idea, but instead it was just drama because John Malin has the emotional capacity of a 3-year-old.
Is he really still mad, or was that performative?
Oh no, he's mad.
How can you be mad after so long?
I don't know, dude.
How do you...
I don't even think about this stuff, and it's just like it was all right on the top of his. It's like, I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to talk about it.
I can't recall. No, it's not like we talk. It's not like we talk every day. We probably talk about once a week or so, maybe, give or take.
Maybe
sometimes once a month.
We'll text back and forth, but
yeah. Just because we're both busy, you know.
Yeah.
You've got all the NFT stuff going on, and I'm doing some other things, but I can't recall the last time you ever said John Malin's name.
It's just.
I would probably sign an affidavit that you have not mentioned John Malin's name in at least 2 years. So
No, I'm sure I've mentioned it.
I don't think so, but not in our conversation. Yeah.
You're not a part of everything I say, so.
No, I'm not by any stretch of the imagination. But God, that's weird to hold on to.
Yeah, it's silly, and I was perfectly willing to send Shad the link, but I didn't want him coming into that.
Yeah, that's a little bit much. And I think isn't Comicsgate Kings, that's like their flagship show, so maybe that's not the right one to promote on, right?
I don't even know what the qualifications are.
Is that Comicsgate Kings is kind of like their Friday Night Tights, right? Maybe?
I have no idea what the qualifications are. I don't know. I mean, Friday Night Tights is a tight run ship with freaking, high, usually very high, I don't want to say quality because that's demeaning to everyone who's not, but high audience, performative characters.
Right.
And it's a great, very well run, very, like I said, it's a tight run ship. And Comicsgate Kings, clearly not. It's just, it's like the way we always used to do Comicsgate. We just jump in and shoot the crap, and then Ethan brings up some random topics and penis pictures, and there it is.
Though I did notice one thing because I watched for about an hour, and I was laughing so hard because I'm always shocked that anybody remembers who I am at all. And the reason I say that is until the other day on your show where I was kind of poking a little bit of fun, but barely even spending any energy on it. I don't say anything about Comicsgate, and
Yeah.
so it's weird that like I don't know any of these people, but they know me. It's very strange.
Strange
so I
to me
said-
is that there seemed to be some bizarre animosity coming from. I mean, he was trying to play it off as just not giving two craps, but Shane really came off negatively. And I'm
That
like,
was strange. Maybe maybe he just feels like, and it could be because I think in this iteration of Comicsgate, because it's more of like a brand kind of. It's very important to show. It's very important to show like loyalty, and so maybe
gotta be a
he
team
just felt
player.
like he needed to. But I'm surprised John was that mad. That didn't seem performative. John
Yeah,
seemed.
his butt hurt is
Yeah,
quite incredible.
that's
Quite
unfortunate.
Man, I got a
Maybe-
hangnail that is bugging the hell out of me, and I can't get it off.
You think there's anything you could say to John that would help him let go of that?
I
'Cause
complimented him.
that can't be healthy for somebody,
I
Mike.
said he looks like he lost weight.
You did. You said you looked thinner,
You
right?
look thinner,
Which is
yeah.
completely the opposite.
And he absolutely threw that in my face. How dare he?
Well, I guess that would, because it would imply that at some point he had looked fatter. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how
I think
anything's
COVID was good for
received
him.
anymore.
COVID was good for him.
I
It
don't
was good for me,
understand the
man.
dynamic.
I think I dropped like 6 pounds when I had COVID.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Crypto Comic says, I was the Stan Lee of CG for like 2 years. You know, Mike, I only meant to do anything with CG for like 6 months. Like once it was established, and I kept trying to move on. If you had not launched Lone Star, I would have been out by the time you were coming.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sorry,
And
this
then
is-
I think what prolonged me hanging around was the Drone and Quarters show. And then
the Aloha Hour.
yeah, it's not my fight, right?
Yeah, the Aloha Hour was like, I mean, people would come to watch us as a reprieve from all of the drama and bullcrap in
Yeah.
the rest of the channels. Which, you know, drama and bullcrap gets views, clicks.
It
super
does.
chats, whatever.
It does.
But
It do- If you want a show that's not like if you're not building like a grass hut out of dandelion roots or something, or if you're not, you know what I mean? Or whoa,
No,
wow,
hey.
my microphone's exiting the building.
we won't
Uh,
talk about your microphone.
I've got to get a little blue pill for my microphone, I guess.
No, okay, I'm gonna tell everybody for like 10 minutes. Because you know how the last few times Edwin's been on the show, he's come on and his mic wasn't working, right? And so this time he was on and he was in the back room, and I'm like, I'm not starting the show until your mic's working. And so he's doing all this stuff. He's like, it's all right. He's coming in, coming out, and all of this stuff. And he's like, test your speakers. And I'm like, oh yeah, I have earbuds. Because I was like, how come I can hear a little tiny bit of something that you're saying? And I put my earbuds. I'm like, oh man, this works. Because I never wear you guys know I almost never wear earbuds.
But no, so explain something to me, and maybe because my personality just isn't like this, and because I've been at the center of controversy before. So like I've had my life blown up with like the political stuff, where I've seen, like, if you search my name, I think the first thing that comes up is like an article on me in the Daily Mail, which is absolutely retarded, right? Can I say retarded?
What was the Daily Mail? Can you say it like Shadiversity? Retarded.
Retarded. How does he
I
say
like
it?
the way the Aussies say retarded.
Retarded. I can't do it.
Retarded.
I can't do. Is he now? Is Shad Aussie or New Zealand?
Yeah.
Which is he?
He's an Aussie.
Which one of the penal colonies is he from?
Hey, my nephew's an Aussie, so.
Penal.
And his mother is a crazy person. Oh, I shouldn't say that out.
John Wick says,
But yeah.
"What is the comic on screen? Is Mike drawing comics again?"
John Wick, that is Shadow of the Conqueror, Enemies of Self. This is actually a comic I drew. I finished it probably about between 1.5 to 2 years ago. I think like 1.5 years ago. And then we had several issues with launching and just kind of getting everything. Shad is very fastidious, and so he wants T's crossed, I's dotted, everything down the line, everything perfect before we launch. Everything's done. The files are literally, I believe, either at the printer or being uploaded to the printer.
Shad's got a touch of the tism, right?
I don't know about that.
Tism, yeah?
I don't know about that, but he wants stuff done and done right, and so that's that. And then Joseph at the printer passed away, and he was the one that was handling all of our specs and all of the fulfillment company and all of the API is doing a lot for this campaign. And then Joseph passed away. That was a while ago. But then like Shad's had health problems as well. I don't need to get into the whole everything, but then those, he finally hired this other gal, Mary, to like take head on this. And she and I have been working together for a couple of months now to just get everything in order. And then we got a note from the printer, and he's like, there's 2 price increases on paper coming up. One is in September, one is in December. And I'm like, well, we can't make September. I'm like, but if we launch this ASAP, then we can get numbers in and meet it's like a 20% freaking paper price hike. Ooh. So we're like, so we're like, let's get this out. And so that's why it's stealth launched, and there wasn't a big build up and all that stuff, because we just when we heard about the printing, the price hike on printing, we're like, we gotta go. And then so we got the new shipping prices from the fulfillment company, which I'm like, geez Louise. And so I had to go back in and change all of the shipping prices on all of the different tiers and whatnot. And but yeah, I think we're good now. I think we're good to go.
So I want to show you.
What's
with the adult film music?
I don't have a lot of options. Do you want me to just turn the music off? I kind of like having.
I can barely hear it.
Yeah, I mean it's super low. How about dance pop?
Dance pop. All right. So Mike, do me a favor while you have a browser window open. Go to Google and type in my name. This is going to make you laugh. Just do a search.
Name. I'm not on Google. I am on DuckDuckGo. Is that good? Good enough?
Oh, you're okay. So your privacy.
I'm on Brave.
Yeah.
Principal system engineer.
Oh, that's interesting. Keep going down. It should
Hawaii conservative politics. Blogger.
We'll go to news. Oh, there we go. There we go. Now you're starting to get into results.
Daily Mail.
Yeah. And so it was so crazy. It was so crazy to see myself go across national news. But here's the crazier part, because people freak out over all this stuff, right? So they were talking about my face. They were talking about me in all these different newspapers, on local TV, on national TV. I had journalists calling me up, trying to get me on national TV and stuff, and all this. Ask me how many people since then have walked up to me in Hawaii and asked me about any of this.
0?
1.
1?
Yeah. It's all an illusion, really, for the most part. When you say, people are coming at me and they're, well, kind of, sort of, maybe.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, I was in some of those QAnon type, not a QAnon type, like legit, but like QAnon type personality Telegram group. They all are patriots. Some of them are a little further around the bend, but they're still patriots.
Yeah, they're still patriots. Well, I think part of the reason that makes them susceptible or non-skeptical about some of these huge claims is explanatory narratives have huge power over people when that explanatory narrative takes part of or leverages something they care about. John Wick says QAnon was a CIA op. Prove me wrong. Okay, I can, John Wick. Well, I can't tell you that the CIA was not totally involved, but I had to go back and look at my notes. And QAnon was started by about 4 people over on the 4chan server, and then it kind of bridged over to the 8chan server. One of the people involved was a guy named Pamphlet and Dr. John Corsi. And we were kind of talking to some of these people as it was being spun up. And I kept telling my wife, I'm like, this isn't
Yeah, of course
real.
he's a legit dude, right?
Yeah. Well, ish. I'm very skeptical of just about every single pundit these days. When I went to DC, right? So when I went to DC and met a lot of these people, most of the pundits serve themselves, right? And it's just like, okay, here's the thing to get upset about on Monday. Okay, we're very upset. That is a horrible thing. That is bad, horrible. What are we going to do about it? Here's the thing to get upset about on Tuesday. Okay, yes, I am very angry. So what are we going to do about it? Here is the thing to get upset about on Wednesday. But it never translates into any kind of like, hey, wait a minute, maybe we should organize something. Maybe we should do something.
Well, I mean, that's not that might be on the pundits' side, but that's kind of their job, right? They're the what would that be in the old days? They got the soapbox guy. They're the soapbox guys.
Just pundits.
Yeah, they're the soapbox guys.
Yeah.
They're not the guy. They're not the.
And it was kind
Salvation
of in our
Army.
lifetimes. It was kind of in our lifetimes, Mike. Because remember,
This is just a modernization of an age-old that whole public square.
Here's maybe
soapbox.
kind of like the change. So before these guys had to work, we're probably showing up on like a network or something. So who's Buchanan? You remember Buchanan? He used to be probably the most acerbic guy. And then it started changing with Rush Limbaugh, right? Then it started changing with Rush Limbaugh and Hannity and some of those other guys. And then we had guys like Alex Jones and Mark Dice, who really showed that people could kind of like be their own boss and kind of create like a job and a career for themselves, being sort of political commentators, along with being entertainers, kind of like who's the guy that Quarter Blank Garrett used to work for? The Canadian
Crowder.
Yeah.
Crowder was, I think he was like the first one of the freelance conservative pundits to hit 1 million subs on YouTube.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah, and so it's like a career path now. And I've interviewed and talked to a lot of the guys that like work with Prager, and I met and talked with a lot of these guys at length when we were at the RNC and then at Washington D.C. When did I see like Trump stuff on Ethan's channel? When did Ethan become a Trump guy?
He's always been. What are you talking about?
Has he?
Yeah.
But what? Maybe my memory's just getting bad. I thought.
Bro, I hope not, because I'm older than you are, and that would mean that I'm further down the hill than you are.
well, but I kind of burn the candle at too many ends sometimes. But I remember like Ethan being like no political content, right?
Oh yeah, that was kind of a thing after I was excommunicated. It's like, oh, we can't talk about politics because that's what blah blah blah, and it's like,
right.
Can't fight the culture war without talking about politics, buddy.
Now, is Shad, since Shad's talking about doing more comic books, is he going to go the Eric July route at some point and run it off his own platform?
I don't think he's gotten that far in his thought process. He was, he showed off some of his stuff. Actually, I have it here.
I remember, and I had to go, but I think y'all were looking at like a deviant art.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. You want to bring
Okay.
it up? This is one of his character concepts. I actually really like the concept. Um, he said it's a cape, and
Right.
to me, I mean, if I was writing it, I would make it like a watch, right?
Now, who did this art for him?
Chad did it.
Oh, Chad did it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but no, that's a really cool concept. I really do hope that he invests the money that we make off of this into developing other projects, because like like that sort of space barbarian type thing he was talking about.
Right.
Oh man, I would love to see Kevin on that. That would be so freaking sick.
See, VM Ree says, what was the uncomfortable thing? So, Mike S. Miller went on Comicsgate King. He much like Daniel, he went into the lion's den. Except the lions were more like pussy cats, I suppose.
Well, I mean, most of those. No, I
Cats.
wouldn't. I mean, most of those guys are cool with me. It's
Actually,
I mean, it was
at
so
least
crazy that Rini was the girl. I sat next to her at Tokyo Comic Con. Like, remember when I went to Tokyo? A few years ago?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you're big in Japan. But,
Yeah, I am, dude. That was the crazy kid. I don't know if Rini was watching, but there were girls literally crying to meet me,
Well,
which it was really funny. But it's not, a little humbling or something. I don't know, but yeah, she was there. She was sitting right next to us, me and Eden.
yeah. So I should not exaggerate. Most of the panel, and I think even Ethan was. Well, Rodimus Flat says the lions were lispy and limp-wristed. but
please don't broad brush everyone on that show. I
that's what I was going to say.
Very much like most of those people. So
that's what I was going to say. Most of the panel's cool to you, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what Shane's problem is.
I think that Shane just trying to demonstrate to the Comicsgate audience that he's loyal to John. So that's just Shane. And is Shane? I forget. Is Shane one of the autistic ones? Does he have like some sort of emotional?
I wouldn't know.
Okay.
I mean,
maybe I'm confusing him with someone else
from watching him.
Yeah.
Although I don't watch his channel or anything, so I've never seen him just like going off on his own.
I just don't know him. I kind of know he did like a cat book or something. So I figured.
Yeah.
I just assumed that he might be a little on the autism spectrum, but that could just.
I just figured he was gay. Not just kidding.
But he's got a wife though, right? She's
no,
pregnant.
Look, some people just love. I love my cat. I love Max. I'm just
right.
I'm not gonna do.
No, I don't know anything about Shane Davis.
And I hear it's a good book, so I don't want to. I'm not bashing it.
Okay.
It's not my style. It's not.
No. It just kind of made me laugh because it's like we're Comicsgate, we like manly superheroes and large-breasted woman, and here's a cat book with a small girl. What?
Well, if that's what he wanted to do, that's
good for him.
Yeah.
Flying your freak flag high, but yeah,
it just it's not my thing. What's his face? He's in the chat, or he was earlier. He got it. He thought he loves cats too. So
a fuzzy creature, man. Have a relaxing night. Yeah. Fuzzy
later,
creatures.
Fuzz.
Yeah.
Risey will be hearing about this cat hate, Mike. I don't hate cats. I love cats. Well, no. Okay, that's not true.
Well, they're pretty good for cleaning barbecues, right?
Out of the 2 cats that we have in our house, I love one of them. I keep trying to convince the other one to go play in traffic, but she just refuses.
When I lived in the country, when I was a kid, I had some good farm cats, but I don't think I've owned a cat in 30 years.
Oh, Max is awesome, dude. I've always, my entire life, I've wanted a shoulder cat, right? And usually a shoulder cat has to be a smaller cat to stand on your shoulders. But Max is a total shoulder cat, but he's like, this big, so it's impossible for him to get his whole body on your shoulders. But he always like right in the morning, it's like he'll look up in the mirror. and then like I'll just bend over and it'll just jump on my shoulder.
Crypto Comics says Risey will be hearing about this cat hate. Now, is Risey the other Australian who's inebriated all the time? Because
Yes.
I don't know people.
Risey is the
Okay.
one who recorded all the war campaign stuff that he gave to the guy that gave to you.
Oh, too funny.
Yeah.
Too funny. I had no idea that was him.
Yep. I didn't either. We were watching the show and he was explaining all that stuff. I'm like, wait a minute, that was you? I'm like, Risey, you were responsible for the downfall of Comicsgate.
Oh, too funny. Too funny. But it's still around. They're still a good brand.
Yeah.
So this is the part that I don't.
He was
get
responsible for the fall of Rome.
This is why I don't get that Malin is so upset, because he's like on graveyard shift 57 now, right? Or whatever. And he's got like he's still got like a YouTube following. He's making a good living. He's got people that seem to really enjoy his content and give him plenty of validation. So like, why? And you
Why
just
the
went in a
beef?
different direction. Why does it matter?
It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I don't. Do you think Malin just needs your approval or something? Or
I don't know. And I don't
say something kind to them. I mean,
speculate.
like not just performative.
No, he didn't
kind.
say that. That was Ethan. He wanted us to say something kind to each other.
No. I mean, maybe not performatively, but like just on the side somewhere. If you can think of something to say to Malin that would allow him to let go of like that resentment, because that cannot be good for that dude, right? It cannot be good. Because it's like 4 years now, isn't it?
It's been a minute.
Yeah. Like, whoa, I was like, that's a lot of intensity for I mean, life goes on, you know? Life goes on. But as far as I can see, Comicsgate's worked out pretty well for them, I guess. The only thing I would say, like, I stream 4 or 5 times a week, but only for like an hour at a time. And then if I need to do something, I do something. The only thing I'd say, like Comicsgate and even like your Nerdrotic and them, it's like you're a slave to the schedule and to providing like, and they don't just stream for like a little bit. Like Ethan and Malin and everybody stream for like hours and hours.
Oh yeah, like all freaking night long.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I mean, that's why it's like, you know, I don't stream that much anymore, but like right now I'm working.
Yeah.
And on the show tonight, I was working. And back in the day, all the time, I was the guy that was working, right? It's like you saw the top of my head, and then I'd come up to make a comment, whatever. Yeah. But, whoops, dadgummit. Invert, hold on a second. Cut and paste. But, I couldn't freaking dedicate that much time of my life to just sitting here and staring at a computer and talking.
Well, no,
like here, right? I can talk while I work. That's fine. But boy, what a
it's kind of a miserable life, I think. Like,
well, I mean, hey, look, I mean, I'll give it to everybody, and I'm not just in our nerd sphere, but anybody who actually functionally makes a living doing this. That's great. That's epic. But if like I said on that show tonight, it's like I don't want to be a YouTuber.
No.
Right? So I don't dedicate. I try to do at least one stream a week on Wednesdays to sort of just maintain this channel, but I don't want to be a YouTuber. And Ethan's like, no, none of us want to be YouTubers. And I'm like, how much time do you spend YouTubing? It's like, well, that's the marketing. It's like,
yeah,
you gotta get the gig is creating comics. For me, it's not anymore so much, although I will be getting back on a Shadow of the Conqueror, and I do have to finish up Lone Star 3. But the gig is the job. The marketing, you have to find some way to maximize your time and your ability to produce the thing that's important, because it can't just be about the marketing, you know? I mean, marketing is important. I understand that, but
All right.
I don't know.
Let's do some.
I don't know.
Let's do some audience service here. Let me read a couple things. Crypto Comics says, and I'm just I'll read these real quick and then we'll catch up. Let's see. Crypto Comics says, well, hang on, I'm breaking the rules. You should be super chatting this stuff if I'm going to acknowledge that you exist. All right, Crypto Comics says, time for a CG retrospective to get Edwin caught up. It's not that important, man. It really has no effect on any of our lives. And I don't say that to be demeaning, but
yeah, plenty of stuff was going over in my head tonight, and I didn't even care enough to ask about it.
Let's see. Jeff Potts says this is all beginning to sound like a warped love triangle. I'm not a leg in that triangle. Dark Admiral March Hare says, I don't get it. Malin and Mike were buds. OP Dog says it's all about the grift. Pablo Romero Art says hello. Dark Admiral March Hare says, I miss cross-examinations. Pablo says, I remember Mike's chair streams. OP Dog says, I do miss Drawn and Quartered. And then Vic says, I don't watch any other live streamers besides Ethan, and a few other channels revolved around him. He's funny, entertaining. He can still bring humor off Edwin for something like 4 years ago. Vic, that made me laugh, but it also kind of was like, whoa, this is bizarre. Because
it might tickle a funny bone of the guys that have been here for 4 years, but are you trying to grow? That's why it's just like doing all of this insular stuff. It's really just that back audience, and everybody else gets lost. And it's like, who cares? I didn't want to talk about the 4-year-old stuff.
Right.
And, I was right in the middle of it. So
let's see. Vic says very niche stuff tonight. But yeah, when I said hello in chat, and I was just trying to get a little promo for Shad's book, right? Mm-hmm. But I was surprised by how many Methwins. Does anybody in Comicsgate remember what fudge is about? Because for the life of me, I don't know why people say fudge and expect me to react to it. If anyone can explain that to me, I would love to hear it. And
they want you,
but I don't know what it's about. What is fudge in reference to?
It's, I believe, gosh, did that have something to do with George Alexopoulos? I don't even remember. All of this stuff is so old and so unimportant.
I don't know.
And it's like, and this is the freaking the toe, or this is the thorn in Malin's paw, right? It's like,
right.
Bro, I don't even care, and I don't even want to talk about it, and just freaking relax.
So if anybody remembers, I don't know what fudge is supposed to represent. I don't know why I'm supposed to be angry if somebody says that to me. And then Edwin said, don't tell me about fudge. Okay. Thank you, Junkyard Done. If I did, I did.
Haxanax. That's a cool name. Doug T's right. Be artist first, YouTuber second. Yeah, and it's like, if I wanted to be a YouTuber, I would actually dedicate the time and the effort to actually making the kind of videos and topics and talk about the topics that would feed growing a YouTube channel. And it's not like I couldn't do it. I've done it before. I did it when I wanted to do it for politics, which was a much easier audience to garner, right? I went from 300, it was my secondary channel. I went from 300 subs to 14,000 subs in 2 weeks because I understood the algorithm and how to chase that rabbit. I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. I just want to create and draw and make cool stuff.
I'm doing it with politics now to try and win some elections in Hawaii.
Yeah.
In a different medium. And I will probably I will probably spin up a Hawaii political chat, a political YouTube.
Oh yeah. The don't tell me about fudge rant. Okay. I remember I don't remember what it was about. Probably
know,
war campaign, but yeah.
About 3 months ago, I had a nice little exchange with Ro, and he's like, "Yeah, we've kind of moved on because I wanted to do, I didn't want to spend my time on like nonsense, right?
Mm.
Just like nonsense." And so I think he got involved in political stuff in Canada. He's like, do I really want to be arguing about dildos and comic books when there's like real world things going on?
Wow. Thanks for growing up now, Ro.
Well, yeah.
At least he got there. So,
All right, let's see. JW says the one thing I never understood was Edwin's live stream regarding Kelsey and War Campaigns chat. Okay, I think I can put that in context for you. So Mitch had some kind of book coming out. What was he had 3 or 4 books coming out for.
Oh, yeah. That was Red Rooster, the Futurists.
The Viking one that looked kind of cool, like the Viking girl. Okay, so I remember
Nora Saga.
I remember this was a Wednesday, right? And so that day, I was actually making promotional stuff for Mitch. I was cutting voluntary stuff, like just as this is me just trying to push a product, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was cutting some audio and putting a promo together for some of that stuff, and kind of featuring some stuff on Kelsey. And then we go Wednesday night into Drawn and Quartered. It was Wednesdays, right? When we did Drawn and Quartered? Yeah. Okay. Yep. And then I think War Campaign was doing like their version of Drawn and Quartered.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow and Kelsey gets drunk. And no one should get offended when Kelsey gets drunk or high or whatever. He's gonna say all kinds of nonsense. I don't think Kelsey has a cruel bone in his body. Not really.
No. He's a big cuddly teddy bear.
George Alexopoulos was a guest on Drawn and Quartered. And George has kind of had subsequently became like a hugely well-known political cartoonist kind.
Yeah. He's featured on Tim Pool.
Yeah. So
and he's been on that show several times.
Yeah, he. I mean, if you go onto any internet forum, odds are somewhere you're going to see like a George Alexopoulos political cartoon or meme or something. Anyway, so War Campaign was doing their something, and they were really being like super cruel to George, but at the same time they were also coming in and being disruptive into the audience. So they were kind of at the same time they were interfering with the show, and they were being super cruel to George. And they weren't calling him Alexopoulos. It was like a portmanteau of his name and vagina, right? I won't use profanity on Mike's channel because I don't use it on mine.
They were calling him Kittyopolis.
Kittyopolis, yeah. And then Kelsey joined into it. And it really struck me the wrong way, because I'm thinking, wait a minute. I was just spending 2 hours promoting your stuff, and now you're kind of joining in on the derailment of my hobby, because Drawn and Quartered was my hobby. That was my Wednesday night entertainment, was kind of helping MC the show, right? Mm-hmm. Not a money maker for me, right? Not a revenue source, just my hobby and helping out Mike. And so the next morning I sent a note to him and Mitch, because I was like, it just kept rubbing me the wrong way, that okay, we don't have, there's no reciprocity here. And Mitch had this nuts temper tantrum on me.
Oh, really?
And I don't know what was going on with his life or anything. Maybe there's some extenuating circumstances, but he had a temper tantrum on me. And I told him to kick rocks. And then he came out and said, he accused me of being in some kind of weird conspiracy to do something to his comic book. I'm like, what? How the heck do you know? How the heck do you think I know anybody at Walmart? What are you talking about?
Meow meow meow.
Yeah, but I
But
don't
oh,
care.
wait a second. But wasn't there, what's that guy's name? Doug Ernst. Yeah, wasn't he trying to pull some crap on?
I don't think so. I don't think Doug Ernst knows anybody, but I don't know, but I don't think Ernst is that petty to like.
No, he is. I don't know if you. I don't know if there. Okay, so you may have been out of the certain because I've been talking to John Delarose and stuff.
Okay.
And dude, Ernst, you know who the Comic Book Hut is, right?
Yeah.
Comic Book Hut came out and admitted that all of the content that he was given to attack Ethan and CG and probably the Brightwisers and probably me was all given to him, videos tailored to him by Ernst.
Oh wow.
He was like Ernst's hitman.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I think,
so he was this yeah, he's a creepy petty.
But I think people think like I knew all these things and talked to all these people in this level of detail, and it's just out of everybody in Comicsgate or in this circle, Edwin was tagging Walmart. No, that wasn't the case. That has never happened. That has never happened. I think you maybe have a memory of somebody's meme or something. I'm sorry, man. It's just, however irritated I may have been at Brightwiser, it was just irritation, and I wouldn't try and harm the man's product. But beyond that, I mean, think about this for a moment. How would I get to Walmart, and how do you think?
I usually drive there.
Yeah, right. Do you think like Walmart's management is like looking at tweets? This is I think when you get in some of these internet groups, you like really take some of this stuff.
I won't read his name, but maybe it was fake, but I saw screen caps.
Yeah.
I can't imagine War Campaign making.
No, brother, it never happened. It never happened. It never happened. All right. It never happened.
Past 3 or 4 years, Mitch's life have been stressful for him. His hair's turned gray, looks 20 years older. He tried to run before he walked.
Oh no.
I mean, you guys, everybody who was paying any attention, which is probably nobody who's still watching, I had the highest hopes for Mitch and his entire Walmart deal, and I thought it was, gosh darn it, I really wish that had all panned out for the best.
Yeah, I do too. Well, I think it would have been a cool thing, independent comics or non-DC and Marvel comic books had become like a viable thing in Walmart, right? That would have been like a cool thing for everything.
Yes. I think what they probably lacked was like real marketing, because if you're making it available, now you have to let people know it's there, right?
Yeah.
Remember way back in the day, by the way, I'm posting the link for wait, did I post it? For Shadow of the Conqueror in the chat there. But remember back in the day, when Malibu Comics got all that money from Image, right? They started marketing like the freaking Ultraverse. It was on commercials, on billboards, and in magazines and stuff like that. They were like, we're gonna make Malibu Comics obviously available at all the comic book stores, but we're gonna try to get normal everyday people to jump into like, this is the new universe. And I don't know what their returns were, but Ultraverse kept going until Marvel bought out Malibu. So
all right, Pablo Romero Art in chat says he lost everything. Oh
no. Seriously?
That's sad.
Oh man, I gotta talk to him. I talked to him a few months ago, but he didn't say anything about that.
So so don't read that wrong. I was irritated at Mitch, but I don't want to see anybody have any misfortune, right?
Yeah. No, I like Mitch.
Yeah. And even your chubby cousin Ethan, like, I don't have any animosity to that dude, because none of it. Now for you, I could see maybe because this is your livelihood, right?
Hmm.
And so I could see where you could have like residual stuff if temporarily someone made it harder for you to earn a living. I could see where you could potentially have some residual animosity. But
Hey
this is
man,
always just,
what they meant for evil, God meant for good. So
yeah. Well, what I'll say, one of the things it led you to was an ability to earn an even better living, and in such a way that you weren't tied to all these other people and tied to all this controversy and having to herd cats and do all these crazy things, right?
the NFT collection I'm doing right now. I'm literally doing this for a billionaire.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's definitely a much more lucrative life than
Yeah,
sitting on
and so it's a
YouTube for
different
6 hours a
dynamic.
night trying to sell comic books.
And I kind of, when I was watching Ethan's show tonight, I watched for about an hour, and then I read, and I was working on some other stuff, and I ducked in here and there, but I started kind of feeling sympathy because they're chained to this thing, right? They're chained to YouTube. They're chained to finding something to be confrontational about, or to providing entertainment for. Imagine having to entertain a whole audience full of Vics. Sorry, Vic. I just saw you right there.
Hey,
Right.
I gotta run to the can real quick. Can you
Yeah.
monologue for me?
I can. Who's that fellow? Gabe. I will do my own impression. This is Edwin impersonating Gabe, impersonating Edwin. Boop, says the Walmart deal was obviously doomed from the start. Edwin is lying, but what else is new? Except for the tone of voice. Okay. And that's okay. Boop, if that's what you want to run with and that's something you want to believe, it's okay with me. I won't try and change your mind because it doesn't matter. It has absolutely no effect on my life or yours or Mitch's. But if you enjoy holding on to it, it's cool. It's cool. It doesn't matter. Mr. O'Hara, I wish you had a different name so that you could say it. So I could say it. He said, Mike is going to poo. Yes, he's going to drop off the kids at the pool. Boop, says, sad one. Hey, there is a Gary Shipman art. He says, congrats. Jalapeno Milk says, Mitch last year took a tour of Epstein Island. Oh no, Jalapeno Milk. That's not nice. He lost everything, but he was partying it up. I don't know, man. I don't know anything about Mitch's business. I wouldn't want to speculate it.
This is just wrong. Hacks and Axe says Edwin's not lying. He's just wrong. Walmart was a terrible idea. Walmart was not a terrible idea. Walmart was a great idea. It just wasn't perfectly executed. Getting comics back into the hands of kids. That's if you want to do anything to save the comic book industry, that's like what you have to do. You can't. I mean, otherwise. Look, I think that the writing's probably on the wall at this point, but it's already a niche industry, and without any effort to get it back into the hands of kids, it's the level of nicheness we're seeing today will look like what comics look like when we were in the 80s in 10 years, right? It's going to be a niche of a niche. Comic book stores they're not going to have comics anymore. There's going to be gaming stores with back orders of comic books because new comics aren't selling. And it's going to be manga stores. And you got to do something.
I don't even know if it's going to be manga stores, though the bookstore here does have a pretty good manga section. Does have I say good. I have no idea if it's good. It has a large. Yeah. I'm not qualified to evaluate if manga is good or bad.
Yeah, me too, Grant, dude. You know what? Just cheap newsprint comics
Newsprint.
on a spinner rack where, it's still on like $1, dude. If you could do $1 and you just do it as a marketing write-off. If you care about the industry, if Disney or AT&T or whoever's owning these companies now actually cared about saving an industry for the next generation, they would make a deal with every freaking 7-Eleven in the country and just print up cheap newsprint at cost comic books and just try to get them back in the hands of kids. It wouldn't. I mean, Grant, in one aspect of saying that Walmart was his mistake, trying to make money, that's I mean, that's a business, that's what you're trying to do, but literally you gotta put so much into marketing just to get these back into the hands of kids.
Well, I was having a conversation with Flash the other day, and it's like comic book stores have almost become like are they comic book stores or are they porn stores? Because they're all tucked off in like out of the way places.
Yeah. You still talking Flash?
Yeah. Well, he does that show with me. Are you talking about Yellow Flash?
Oh, you're talking about Elrond.
Yeah. Me and Yellow Flash were never. I never knew him. You know what I mean?
Oh, really? Oh no, that was you and Tug.
Yeah. Tug, and I kind of had a falling out with Tug when I listened to that videotape or the audio tape that you said Risey provided, where Tug was like talking about like, what are they doing with Indicron? Who told them they could do that? It's like, wait a minute, are we about the free market and people being able to do what they want, or do we have to approach some shadowy council to? It was too anti-hetero for me. It's like, nah. After a point, I realized, all right, so let me couch these terms. With a lot of people, present company accepted, with a lot of people that I've interacted in and around the Comics Gate space, it's a lot of very low value interactions. Just people always looking for something to be upset about, and I get it. Maybe it's just part of the filter. That is what the people who got filtered for, or just the drama around or jockeying for position. It's just like, that's not how my life is built.
Shoot, I screwed something up.
That's one. Okay, so this is what I was going to say. The thing that I picked up, and it seemed like Ethan was having fun with you. Like he seemed relaxed. But then there's like a part of these shows that always seem like it's like a script almost, right? And it was like, okay, so now we're coming to the part of the show where we're going to get a rise out of Mike, or we're going to get a rise out of this person. And it's like, I guess maybe if it was artfully done, it would be cool. Or maybe he was just doing it as like a kind of a reminiscent thing. So maybe I read too much into that, but it was like, okay. I think
I don't know.
I don't remember what the comment was.
To give the benefit of the doubt, I would say that it's probably more in keeping with that's just the digging up drama.
Oh, digging up the drama. Yeah,
for entertainment purposes. Might not be nefarious or
I'm so removed from it, and I don't watch. Like, I may watch like 5 minutes of somebody's stream here and there, but I'm not going to watch like 2 hours of somebody's stream.
Yeah.
And half the time when I tune into stuff, I don't know what the heck people are talking about anymore. Because it's all like inside jokes, right? Yeah. And I'm not inside on the joke. Pepping up the voice cadence. All right. Elrod says, I want comics in Dollar Tree. That's the holy grail.
Yes. And honestly, that's what gosh, dang it. I mean, comic companies should do. I guess they can't do a secondary run, but they should do something to get comics into Dollar Tree. $1 freaking comics, and it's not impossible. It's not, when you're printing that many comics, it's not that expensive to do a 36 page pamphlet in crap paper with crap cover stock, and just slap a $1 label on it and stick it in the Dollar Tree. Even if you eat, say the printing and all that stuff, and it ends up you're eating 10 cents on per unit. It's like, that's marketing. That's still marketing. Those kids that are going in the Dollar Tree buying whatever, that they see a freaking Spider-Man comic for $1, dude, you might just hook another lifelong comic fan. The industry doesn't want to grow it. It's so freaking annoying. Yeah.
Mike, I am so sorry because and I don't know if we read this dude's super chat. This may have happened when you were dropping the kids off at the pool. But I know people having their super chats read is very important to them. And so I will observe this tradition. Comics Exposed earlier said, Mike, what did you do to Shane Davis? Sorry. Jeez. I
don't know what Shane's malfunction is with me. I truly do not. So beats me. He says he's ambivalent. That's fine. I mean, I don't need to be his friend. I don't have anything against him. Doesn't really matter to me one way or the other.
Roscoe Davis says a niche market just needs to market to their audience. Yeah, and I think Comicsgate has done a good job of that. Mike Lindell knows the type of American who buys his pillows and markets to them. I met Mike Lindell at the RNC in person. When he's not being performative, he's actually a decent dude. I found him to be a decent dude.
He's not shaking a pillow?
Let's see, Boop says, calling Ethan chubby, high value or low value. Oh, okay. Ethan's a fatty fatso. That's low value, but it tickles me to say it.
His jumping jacks were entertaining, at least.
Oh no, that was horrifying. He should never do that again.
No, he should do it every day, just not on camera.
I think Boop wants, and I am absolutely 100% cool with giving you acknowledgement. Edwin watches all of it. I do not. Okay, so right now I'm spending about 10 to 12 hours a day on politics. My wife and I are volunteering for a congressional candidate. Mike, I was totally out of politics, didn't want to have anything to do with it. But this one candidate is just a good guy, and he's running for U.S. Congress. And he came to my wife and he's like, "Can you guys help me?"
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
So I don't.
The whole set here because I wasn't paying attention because I'm streaming instead of focusing on my work.
Dennis Proof says, "Did you quit your job?" Yes. I do a little bit of consulting here and there, and my wife and I do some other kind of pickup stuff. My wife and I live. Our normal mode of existence is very frugal, and so even in Hawaii, we don't spend all that much money. I'll probably just keep consulting. Just the idea of having a desk job just sounds absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. Boop, I wish the story was more interesting than that, right? I wish I could play this part for you. I just don't pay that much attention to it, man. But
let's see if we got any. Let's see if this has moved. 17107171147. All right, that moved a little bit. We're over 1,500 backers, Edwin.
Nice.
Not too bad.
How close are you to destroying Graveyard Shift?
Let's see.
Grinding the testicles of John Malin underfoot.
We destroyed Graveyard Shift Volume 4.
Okay.
Oh wait. Let me do this in proper Comicsgate ease. We destroyed the evil that is Graveyard Shift 4. So stupid. That was a while ago. Oh wait, where are we at now? 171. So we are about $3,000 away from destroying the evil that is Graveyard Shift 2. So,
Taking the last shred of manhood from John Malin, leaving him a wailing eunuch.
Here we ate John's lunch. Here we'll eat John's dinner. So it was so funny because my wife came home with Taco Bell, and I'm like, that kind of is what I'm such a troll. That's kind of what made me want to go on Ethan's show because I want to take. I just wanted to go make that joke. So
yeah, but I am happy because what is he up to? Malin is up to Graveyard Shift 4 now.
Yeah. So
that's
Graveyard
cool.
Shift 4. Here's the interesting thing, and not that I'm counting his money or anything, but he went from Graveyard Shift 2, which is all the way. No, Graveyard Shift 3. No, 2 made 174. Graveyard Shift 3 did 265, 393.
Wow.
And that was, he hired another artist. Aaron Alfecci, right? Did Graveyard Shift 3.
Who did he draw for? Was it Zach that Alfecci did one of the Jawbreakers for? Yeah,
so Alfecci was the artist of the highest selling Graveyard Shift. And then Graveyard Shift 4 came out, and it dropped a dang near 40, what's that, 265 to 164. What's that? It's a good 30% drop, right?
Now, is that just because we've kind of been in a recession, maybe, and maybe just people are spending less?
It's a change of artist. Aaron Alfecci, probably pretty fan favorite, so that had a lot going for it. I don't know why he couldn't maintain Aaron on the book. Maybe Aaron's signed an exclusive with whoever he's working for. I have no idea. I haven't talked to Aaron in a good long time. And so, I couldn't tell you. I mean, maybe people just didn't like the art. I thought the art was good. I don't know. I'm not intimate enough with the goings on to tell you why.
Okay, so Junkyard Dunn has an explanation. Maybe he says they did a few campaigns on Graveyard Shift 3, so they lumped the sum together. That might make sense. Oh, and somebody mentioned a Spike campaign. Now, I will say, like Mike coming on and being performative and being a good sport, you actually probably made money for Ethan and some of those people tonight because it gave them something to talk
Super
about.
Chat about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's well, he still owes me money from that one stream. Remember our stream? He said, "I'll give you half the money from it."
And he told you he'd give you half.
Yeah, he never did.
That's right. He never did settle up.
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
And I couldn't tell you how much it was either. So whatever.
I'm sure.
But he got so many super chats that stream.
Yeah. Ethan, pay your bills.
Yeah. Hashtag pay Mike.
In crypto, you should pay Mike and ETH.
That's all right. I don't care.
Let's see. Crypto Comics has got a political question for me. He says, Edwin, is there chatter Tulsi is going to run for Senate, or is she plotting another presidential run in 24? Crypto, I don't know, but it looks like she's trying to maintain and build her national platform. So she's either planning a long-term career as a political pundit,
she's running for president.
Now, what I will tell you is that Mazie Hirono comes up for re-election in 2024, and Mazie Hirono is in very bad health. So, I don't know. I would think Senate first. Tulsi, before Tulsi tried to make another presidential run, she should really do a lap as a Hawaii senator.
Or run for governor or something.
I think governor would be a downgrade, but maybe senator.
I don't think so, because usually, most of the presidents were elected from governorships, not from the House.
But typically in larger states, and the Hawaii's governor doesn't really have a national platform.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you know more than I do about it.
Yeah. Steve Roberts said, well, I was stoked to see you on Kings tonight. I hope to see you there again.
Well, I don't know. It's pretty uncomfortable, so I appreciate it, though.
Force Ghost Fabio says Mike has a new campaign. Well, it's Shadiversity's campaign.
It's Shadiversity's campaign, although I'm essentially running it.
Yeah. JV in chat says, Mike, that was great. It was awesome to see you. And then he says, back Vic King's Beowar. Beowar. I don't know what Beowar is. Is it like Beowulf in war? Is that a portmanteau?
Beowulf. So you believe
Hellstorm.
you think the Grendel was a Tyrannosaurus?
No.
No.
What? Why would
From the original Beowulf? Any of the fancified ones, the original one. How did Beowulf kill the Grendel?
Didn't he strangle him?
No.
How did he kill him?
No, he pulled one of his arms off and he bled to death.
Oh, you think he
I
pulled
mean,
one of
that's
his
one.
little
If you
arms
could,
off?
yeah, if you get under that massive jaw, right?
Right.
That's probably the weak point on a what do they call arthropods? No, sauropod. Sauropod.
Yeah. I don't know. But I'm not really. I'd have to go. I've never really dug deep into the Beowulf. The history
I just
myth.
tend to think like these older legends have more basis in truth than we understand.
Well, but you remember you've got the giant slaying. You've got the giant slaying. So in those days, there were giants.
There were.
Right?
But you try pulling a giant's arm off.
Well, maybe he was really strong.
Yeah.
The Comics Bear has a administrative question. He says, Mike, will the campaign be extended after 40 days? Or is it closing after that?
I'm going to talk to Shad about it, and I'll talk to the printer about it, because we have to get the print order in before deadline, before the price increases. So when we get closer to that date, I'll talk to the printer and I'll ask if they have a firm date on the deadline. And if we can squeeze out another week or two, I will suggest it to Shad, but there's no guarantee that he'll agree to it. So,
all right. So things may be squeezed out, or they may not. That's your correct. Definitive answer.
That is correct.
OP Dog says it's all about that grift.
It's all about that grift.
You know what the OP, if people enjoy, if that really does bring them some joy to like just kind of tune into the same show night after night, that's okay.
Well, what do you think Fox News is?
Yeah, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing to be upset about today.
Yeah, but again, that's a necessary component to the whole thing. That's how
Are we going to do anything useful about that thing? No.
They do. That's not their job.
Yeah.
That's your job.
I know.
Right? There's different parts to the body of the Republic.
Yeah, but what I'll say is that people themselves have confused getting upset on Twitter or
with actually doing something.
With actually doing something.
Yeah.
And I say,
and I think you know what? That's why the whole marketing thing of the buy my comic book to fight the culture war works, right? Because you feel like you are doing something. You are funding the creation, and you know what? It's true. It's true because we don't have patrons. These are our patrons. We don't have, well, okay, I do have a billionaire patron, but most people don't have, billionaire patrons that are going to pay them, blah, 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 to do some artwork for them. And then you can, but this is the crowd becomes the patron. That's why when Patreon came out, I was like, that's such a great concept. Right?
The thing that
the modernization of patronage is crowdfunding.
The thing I don't understand is why Ethan and the other guys haven't come together and built their own crowdfunding platform or just their own sales. I don't understand why they're giving 5% to Indiegogo, because Indiegogo is not really bringing them anything. They bring all their customers to Indiegogo. I bet you organic discovery through Indiegogo is less than 10% of Comicsgate sales.
Yeah, you want to see the organic discovery on this?
Yeah.
I think it's on Campaign Insights. But here's the thing. Nerdrotic, Friday Night Tights, he did not put a link.
Oh,
I mean,
that's a shame.
I mean to say he did not. Okay, yesterday he didn't put a link at all, and his mods weren't even there to put a link. So it's like we got like nothing from his appearance yesterday. But his appearance on Friday, what I mean is that he didn't put a specific link that would grant a referral. So people went to Indiegogo, and I think a good percentage, 21. This is thus saying that we're getting 21% from Indiegogo, which I don't think is organic so much as being told to go to Indiegogo and look up this book. Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think most of these people are driving their own sales, so I don't understand. At least Comicsgate that has the pattern now. Like, make your own platform, and if you have your own platform, they can say anything they want, and no one can interfere with their ability to sell a comic book to someone else, right? And it's not like an e-commerce site. Ethan could probably get like an amazing e-commerce site built. I mean, just like as good as you could imagine for less than 20 grand.
Hey, that's what they should have turned Anycron into.
Well, we looked at it. We were starting to go that way, and people got so weird. I think Pixel threw his hands up. I threw my hands up, and it's like, you know what? Interacting with you people is just not worth it. It's not worth it.
It is more effort than it's worth.
Yes.
I wish I could show you what I was working on, but this is NDA stuff. So.
Is that comic book, or is that the NFT one?
This is the NFT for
my
patron.
Yeah.
If you can say that.
And that's, but I never intended to stay around Comicsgate that long anyway. I just kind of saw the rising movement, thought I would try and give it some legs. And then as it started changing, the only reason I hung around was I enjoyed doing Drawn and Quartered. That was it. And hanging out with you. Yeah, hanging out with you and a couple of the guys who would come on. Weldon was always cool. Shipman's a very gentle soul.
Gary's in the chat. Hi, Gary, if you're still there.
Yeah.
Haxanax. Yes. By the way, I recognize that. That's from that Stephen King movie. Oh boy, what was the one where with the
Hackanax?
Was it Tales from the Crypt? No.
I don't know, man.
I'm driving me nuts. This is the thing that was from under the sea or under the closet.
Are you sure it's not Xanax?
What is that? Xanax. Creep show. That's the one. Okay. Creep show. All right. Yes, most backers are buying with the intent of establishing alternative platforms that match their values, not just for the product. I hope that is the case. I really do. And unfortunately, what you're seeing out of most of the people in Comicsgate is not that, right? Now, Eric July has just come out and said it. And I mean, look, you guys want to go do your own comics and whatever. I always planned on building a platform and building a business out of the whole universe, right? I wanted to hire artists and spread this, just build it up. That's what Eric July is doing, and that's what Shad wants to do. And I think if these guys get funded enough, they will. If you're just doing your own comic, just to, I don't know, do your own thing. I mean, it's great for you personally as a business. And it's fantastic for all of these guys who are blacklisted and can't make a living anymore at Marvel or DC. But what are you building? What are you building that's going to fight the culture war? Just paying your bills?
Well, I will say, okay, so if you're talking about the culture war, and again, anybody in the chat, I don't want to sound like I'm being dismissive in anybody who's trying to make a living in the comic book field. Again, I'm not trying to be dismissive. Just from my perspective, comic books is not a significant problem for me to like be involved in to try and be solving, right?
Well, here's the thing where I disagree that comic books is concept. It's intellectual property, right? And so it is important to start building out the intellectual property that can be farmed. But frankly, sure as hell ain't going to be Hollywood farming it if you're talking about Comicsgate. Nobody in Comicsgate will come within 100 feet of anyone in Comicsgate.
No. Well, and that's the kind of thing
there's a stink on Comicsgate that will permeate well beyond that. Now you could get the Daily Wire or somebody.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think a lot of these YouTube-based movements, once they become insular, and here's one thing here, and this will illustrate it a little bit. There's something that Nerdrotic does better than Ethan and John Malin ever did.
Build an audience?
Well, on Nerdrotic, if there's drama with the cast, and it's not immediately reparable, that person's just gone. But Gary's not going to be like talking stink about him for like months or anything like that, right? It's just you're off the show and you're no longer relevant, right? And because of that, I think, and with Nerdrotic always orienting to whatever's topical, that's why he's been able to have so much growth. I think the whole thing with like Ethan and them trying to argue with like me and you, one, whoever's receiving this has to care about me or you. Like we have to be relevant. And I don't think I'm relevant to all that many people outside like the political sphere, outside very niche industries.
No.
But I'm not relevant to enough people to drive audience, right?
It was just needing a whipping boy.
Yeah.
Right? So
but it outside like the artificial environment of YouTube, the only way that Comicsgate has ever directly impacted my life is when somebody swatted me.
Yeah.
And even that wasn't the end of the world. I mean, it bothered my wife. It got my, I'm not going to lie, it raised my heartbeat a beat or two for, but life went on.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, it may, like I said, it may have been more difficult for you because you were earning your living drawing comic books and trying to market this audience. So that's a little bit different thing for you, right? Because it's a different perspective.
It was, it was a difficult time.
But I think where Ethan's smarter now is everybody on that show is a comic book professional, so they all have the same interest, right? They all kind of have the common. So you're more likely to get that cooperation. Though I don't know how do they generate dramatic tension now? Because nobody really talks about Comicsgate except for us on the show tonight. Oops. Do they have anyone who will fight with them now, or?
I really don't pay that much attention.
Yeah, okay.
You're gonna have somebody.
Yeah, I may, and you guys could let me know in the chat. I may not even be asking the right questions, just because my perspective is so old.
Roscoe, I didn't read this yet, but Mike, you should get a deal with the Daily Wire to do a comic book tie-ins for their movies. I don't want, bro. Seriously. If you knew how much I got paid to do an NFT collection, which takes me at the max a month, you wouldn't ask me to do comics like for anybody. I'm so far beyond the page rates of anybody. The only reason I'm going to do Shadow of the Conqueror is because that's my word. I said that I would. I gave my word that I would finish this series. And we have a deal set up, and frankly, he couldn't afford me if it was. I don't know how much this is gonna do, so he
Right,
might be
right.
able to afford me at some point. But any company, if Random House came to me, okay, you know what? I'm totally full of crap, because when Random House, or is it Penguin? No, it's Random House. When they come to
Right.
me with the next like Hedge Knight book, and they pay me my, whatever page rate I was getting before, which was a great page rate, I'll still do it because that's Hedge Knight's sort of my baby.
Got
Right.
it. Got it. Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
But
Yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense.
nobody can hire me to just freaking draw their comic book. It's so out of the realm of financial responsibility at this point. It's ridiculous.
Let's see. What did I say? Lord Nemesis, Edwin obsessed with Comicsgate. No, but Mike was on with Ethan tonight, so we're just kind of reminiscing here. That's all. But even if I'm tossing a little bit of shade here and there, I really, Mike, and I don't know how you feel, but I don't have any ill will towards these guys. Like, they don't have anything to do with my life.
No, John's just dishearteningly juvenile, I guess.
And if Comicsgate's audience, if they're happy with what they're getting, that's great. And if those guys are making a living making comic books and doing YouTube shows, good for them, right? If people didn't want it, they'd go somewhere else and they'd find something else to be interested in.
Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah. It's just not relevant to my life beyond kind of like this reminiscing and since Mike was over there tonight. But even if I'm making jokes, like I don't bear any of these guys any ill will. They don't have anything to do with my actual life.
The things I do for Shad.
The things I do for that took a dark turn. When you've got like 25 kids, you could push one out of a tower, I suppose.
Axanax says, I love the Hedge Knight. I hope you get another crack at A Song of Ice and Firework. That's the weird thing. It's like, I know it would be like probably a waste of my time, but I do still like think, I'm like, should I reach out and see if I can get the license to House of the Dragon? And then I'm like, probably not worth my effort.
Force Ghost Fabio just nailed it 100%. He said, at the end of the day, it's just YouTube. The thing I have to always remind myself is that there are a lot of people who actually have turned their vocation into YouTubers, and I've always got to kind of remind myself of that, right?
And you know what? It pays very well if you do it right. Yeah. I watched some dude like post his actual YouTube revenue,
right?
From just doing videos that get like 100,000, 200,000 views, and I'm like, that's some very nice revenue you got there, Mister. I can't even remember what it was, but I was like, dang, that's good stuff.
Vic says, you put your nose up at this, Edwin, but people have held lawyers and sent lawsuits over CG stuff, so is it irrelevant?
Vicky got swatted.
Vicky? Or I got swatted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, but I mean, beyond that, none of it has anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Steve Roberts says, Mike, really? John chooses a target and does his shtick. It's usually Shane. Tonight it was no. John is legitimately still a butthurt child over all of this stuff. And so,
why though? Why?
Because he's an 8-year-old, dude.
Because he's done good, right?
He's got the emotional range of an 8-year-old.
Hi. My little dog was yelling at me. Mike, can you hold the stream down while I go get some coffee? And I'll be back here shortly.
Do it.
Okay, I'm going to stop my cam and mute myself.
That is correct, Rhaegar. Swatting is straight up attempted murder. And that's why it's like, you're talking about people getting sued and all of this garbage. Yeah, I think attempted murder is a little bit more. And that, frankly, that's the worst you can get in anything that's happened to anybody in Comicsgate or any of the surrounding, communities. Comic Spare says John is just jealous of your eyebrows. I can see that. I can't see his eyebrows, but I can see that. If you think minor interweb cults are replacements for trad pop culture, you fail to see the bigger issue. What is trad? What is trad? You guys know what trad means? No? Oh, traditional. Right? I'm sure he means traditional. No. Minor internet, we'll say communities, are not. But when they get big enough, they do become... I mean, look, man, Tim Pool and Crowder, these guys get more viewers than prime time 24-hour news channels. I mean, that is, making a difference. When you could just start by setting up shop on YouTube, and if you're just good at what you do and you know how to ride that algorithm and you know how to build your channel up and maintain it, you could literally be bigger than CNN. It's crazy. It is the decentralization of information, and that's why the left hates it, because they want information controlled from on high, the way it was up until the internet. That's why they had the fairness doctrine on the radio, and it was only on the radio. The fairness doctrine was not for TV, where CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS held the news in the palm of their hand. The fairness doctrine only applied to the radio, where left-wing commentators couldn't make a living. Left-wing commentators couldn't garner enough of an audience on talk radio, because nobody that isn't forced to wants to hear their bullcrap propaganda. Still today, man, left-wing, try to find a left-wing radio show host that's at all successful. It's slim to none. So hey Kevin, I dropped you the link if you want to pop in. Grant Cosby almost won here. Night all. Good night, Grant. Good night. Traditional, I know trad is usually used as an insult from the left and from the Lincoln Project bulwark types. Never heard of it. Never heard that.
What's that, Mike?
Oh, that trad is short-term slang for traditional, used by the left and the Lincoln Project.
Huh. Okay.
Wait, is the Lincoln Project? No, that's log cabin Republicans.
Yeah,
you can see right.
But funny enough, it turned out that the Lincoln Project leadership had some of the same proclivities. In the chat, just because we want to acknowledge people, and you don't even have to pay to be recognized. Dark Admiral March here says, "Gotta go. Have a good one, everybody." Mike, I'm glad you're doing well. All right, so just before I forget it, and I won't beat it to death. If Megalyn really is still that angry, right? And I don't know how you feel about him now or feel about the whole thing, but if you've let go of the anger, maybe in private, maybe you can reach out to him and help him reconcile that, because that cannot be good for him to be that level of intensity.
I know. I thought he was gonna have a stroke on the show. Holy crap!
I was like, "Whoa, dude!"
I was like, "Bro, easy there,
maybe,
buddy."
or maybe that's him being performative. I don't know how to read these people,
dude. The freaking veins on his neck were bulging. I don't know. He was. That's why I didn't want to get into it, because I'm not even going to bother arguing with him and trying to make any points, because he just yells over you, just like he did that entire.
Oh yeah.
Quote unquote conversation. That less than civil conversation with John Malin.
Lord Nemesis says Edwin loves the drama. Well, I did like seeing anything that maybe helped Shad sell. And I think this is one place where Ethan was absolutely right, is that drama sells comic books. Mm-hmm. And we saw that tonight. I think by having you on there, Ethan made a whole lot more money, and they sold a bunch of comic books, and it kind of gave the show some dramatic tension. So from that standpoint, sure. But like day in and day out, nah, brother, not at all. Yeah, Cryptic Comics says, I don't think John cares one way or the other. He's literally a shock jock. You don't watch his streams, I do. He doesn't care. Okay. All right.
I'm talking about. I've watched his streams for 4 years. I know exactly what John is.
I don't. I just. I know their streams like involve like a lot of drinking and like just inside jokes that I don't understand, and it's just not for me. But that doesn't mean, you know, I find myself couching stuff because I'm not trying to be dismissive to people enjoy. It's just not part of my life. Vic, dude, John was just jonesing because he hadn't smoked anything.
Because he what? Sorry, I don't have this on screen.
Yeah. Vic's theory was
Smoked
that
anything?
that Malin was going through withdrawal.
Entirely possible. Cryptic says he doesn't talk about Mike unless someone in chat brings him up. Some of us in chat actually like both sides.
Okay, well there you go. I don't think it's even sides at this point, is it? I mean, really? Not really.
Crypto and cryptic, two different. Crypto and cryptic. Crypto says Malin is clearly insecure. Yep, I can agree with that. Mike, 4-year stalker.
4-year stalker. Now, what is the kind of fruit that you're accused of being a pilferer?
The accusation is kumquats, but the reality was loquats.
Okay. Now, is the kumquat version kind of more like, it's like, you know, it sounds like something that's dirty? Is that why that?
No, it's because I confused. I didn't realize they were loquats, so I called them kumquats, but they weren't. Okay. They were loquats.
Is that a citrus-like fruit or like a plum?
Honestly, I don't think I've ever even had a kumquat. They're like little. They look like little tiny tangerines or something, and I guess you're supposed to eat them skin and all. But the loquat is like, I don't know. It's not important. It's just it got big seeds in it, big old like a lychee, except that it's like segmented seeds.
Okay, I know what that's like.
Oh man, if there was a lychee tree around here, bruh, I'd be nabbing those all the time. Loquats. Yes. So, yeah, enemies of self, Shadow the Conqueror.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to get because I could have got Shad on that show if he was if Ethan was interested in actually having him on, but I tried to bring it up like 3 times and Ethan ignored it each time, so I don't know why.
Yeah, maybe a different show. Maybe you can get him on there after he's taken the last vestige of manhood from John Malin.
Wait, what?
After Shad Brooks has defeated John Malin in Mortal Kombat. After Shadow of the Conqueror has crushed Graveyard Shift.
Oh yeah, how we doing? We sold anything? I mean,
did you hit a
171, 207? All right, we're up a little bit. Let's see where we're at for the day. Where's the campaign insights? Because really, there hasn't been anything today except for Shad Shad put up a video today, and he's kind of got this little precursor intro in his videos now that is talking about the campaign, and then the outro is the commercial. So, and then he just puts his videos in the middle. So he's getting the information out, but that's pretty much all that has happened today, and that's almost 7,000 so far. So just from that little bit of him sticking on there. And they say in advertising you have to see a commercial 7 times to act on it, something like that. So I'm hoping that just over the course of the next 40 days or so, those fans of his who have watched it multiple times finally just say, that's the day to pull the trigger. So that'll be good.
Cryptic Comic says, just bring back Drawn and Quartered and invite John. It'll be entertaining. Who was that guy? Jalapeno Milk? He did a pretty good job as a Drawn and Quartered MC, yeah?
Yeah, I don't need an. I mean, the MC part's good. I'm just saying that in order to do drawn and quartered, it's. I need a producer because
Yeah,
I don't have the time. Like I was saying
to
earlier, I
run
don't
the
have time
board so you can
yeah,
just put your head down. Yeah.
no, to wrangle the cats
Oh yeah, yeah.
and
It's a
sending
lot
out
of work.
invites.
I used to
Yeah,
I used to do that, and it's like finding topics, and and that was the part of the hobby that was like, this is kind of starting to turn into work. A little too much work.
yeah.
Crypto Comic says the voice is all a ruse. In real life, Edwin sounds like Tiny Tim.
It's a voice modulator. Where do you get that voice modulator, Edwin?
Did you see House of the Dragon 5?
Oh yeah.
Would you say that Shad is giving the same beating to John Malin like the Kingsguard gave to the Valerian boy's
Crispin Cole.
homosexual lover? Would you say the beating was of that
So
intensity?
in this scenario, John is the homosexual lover.
Yes. Well, graveyard shift. Maybe not John himself, but the graveyard. That's getting clipped.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I don't know. We'll be crushing it probably tomorrow. 174. Yeah. So like $2,000.
Yeah.
What, 2
So
grand away from it?
you agree? You agree?
Yes.
You agree? Malin is going to get beaten.
Yeah. You guys want to see a little sneak peek of the Shadow of the Conqueror? I could show a couple pages that haven't been seen before. This is one of them. This is one of the older. Did I send you the book? Did you read it?
You did. I've looked through some of it. I haven't had a chance to sit down and.
All right. This is kind of the history. Kind of goes into the history of who Dalen/Dalus is. And this is actually a double page spread with this page. Early in the book. So it is some good stuff. I can't wait to work on the second book. I don't know if I'll get it out in as timely a manner. It took them 2 years to launch this thing.
Yeah.
But as far as the development goes, because this will have to be done on the side of my anytime I get another NFT project, because I can't. Somebody puts an NFT project in front of me like this, I just have to make that my priority. So, but that's not to say I haven't had downtime. I've been coloring in my downtime.
With the NFT projects, generally what maximum of about 6 to 7 weeks, and you can rock through those.
I haven't done one that has taken me more than a month, and so although this one might, because I'm kind of going all out on this one. Which
is that the one with the with kind of the medieval soldier guys?
No. Okay, that one's taking me longer too, but I'm not working on that nonstop.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a different project. That's the kind of the D&D thing.
Okay, this is the one with the crypto billionaire guy.
Yeah. This is for his. It's called Squid Grow. His
Squid Grow.
Yeah, it's a meme utility token.
Interesting. What is it? Is it in the ETH ecosystem or
BSC? Although
BSC.
I think he's probably going to do it so that you can trade on anything. So.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Well, that's becoming more. It's so easy to kind of. I feel like at some point there has to be some convergence between the chains, just because the bridges between chains are so good now, right? So at some point it kind of.
You think that's something Chainlink could do?
Well, Chainlink used for an oracle, but yeah.
I know, but I know their primary thing is going into the legacy financial system and connecting with blockchains. But how about just connecting blockchain to blockchain?
Yeah, I think so. Because it's the same type of thing, right?
We just lost half the audience, by the way.
Yeah, we're talking about crypto.
We're talking about
buying them. That ain't real money.
They took our USD.
My eyes just rolled back. Hey, Mary, get me another Budweiser. Miller told my crypto again. I don't know what's wrong with it, boy. I don't know if any of you are a character from King of the Hill. If you are, I sincerely apologize for your parents.
So, anyways, yeah. Squid Toshi. No, wait, Shib Toshi. I'm mixing the squid and the shib.
Squid
Shib Toshi. Do you remember this guy? Did you hear me talk about him before?
Yeah. He's the guy who made the $6,000 bet and it turned into like $1 billion worth of shib.
No, it was $8,000 and turned into 5.7 billion.
That's a lot of shib.
That's a lot of shib. No shib.
No shibbity.
So yeah, he's doing this token because frankly he was tired of his friends getting ripped off with rug pulls, and he wanted to, and he's doing all the marketing, he's paying for all the marketing out of pocket, and he funded the initial liquidity of like $25,000, and at the peak, like a little while ago, it was up to 50 million from his initial $25,000 liquidity. And
are you getting paid in ETH or in SHIB?
USDT,
USDT, Tether.
Which I'm sketchy on Tether, so I transfer that to USDC immediately.
Yeah. Well, it's such a manini. It's such a small transactional fee. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And USDC seems to have, in the U.S. market, seems to have slightly better underpinning. But we're actually going to, everybody, we heard you, we came here, you talk about that Malin boy, and now you talking about them digital currencies.
Vic, I'm not even going to highlight that FUD bullshit.
They just want to hear you talk about how Shadow of the Conqueror is going to crush John Malin.
Who does the colors? They're quite nice. This was by Sunny Go. Actually, this was on his campaign, so I can show this. This is where he leaps off the edge of the continent, expecting to die, and then is reborn as in his 17-year-old body.
How about that? That's a leap of faith.
Well, he was trying to kill himself. That's not really a leap of faith.
Okay.
That's
a
leap of
faith.
Suicide. Let's see. Reminds me, Rhaegar? I don't know what you're talking about.
I think that was in reference to maybe the
background music?
MC on Drawn and Quartered. Andrew Hayes says hello. I don't know why you say hello.
It says I'll back Shadow of the Conqueror when I get my next paycheck. Rock and roll. Kevin, what's up? They look awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah, Sunny Go, and we're really hoping. Here's another problem. So Sunny Go, fantastic colorist. He's a Marvel colorist.
Is it a Korean name or
lineal
is it like
use
a Sunny D name?
No, GHO. So yeah, probably Korean or Filipino. I don't know, but unfortunately, he's also into NFTs now, so he might be out of the ballpark of being able to afford him. So I'm hoping that's not the case, but we'll see.
Andrew Hayes is asking me a question. Thank you. Do you have any plans to read the Silmarillion on your channel? Last week, Flash and I did the Akelabeth, which is the Fall of Numenor. I think Wednesday we're going to do another section, maybe Beleriand or something. So yes, the answer is yes.
Took the long way around to say yes.
Yes.
All right. Will crypto ever recover? Before we could expect a big bounce, but now we're just waiting for a bigger crash. We're in the bear market, Vic.
Yeah.
This is the bear market. This is now is when you buy.
But
Even
this
if it
could,
keeps going down, just dollar cost average. Be not financial advice, but
this bear market could potentially persist for a year or more. What do you
entirely
think is going to
possible.
happen in Ukraine? Are you tracking Ukraine at all?
I'm not. I saw them all giving the Nazi salute at that soccer game. That was fun.
Yeah, there's some all different kinds of things going on there, which is weird. Weird.
Yeah.
I do know. I wish we would go back to the Washingtonian ideal for America, where we avoided foreign entanglements. But in truth, I mean, we've had like an American empire for over 100 years now. We've pursued entanglements because we've gone across the world and made people grow our food or our pineapples or our rubber trees or all kinds of different things.
Hey, Dole made those people grow pineapples.
That's true too.
It's all good.
Did you saw the compliment from Guy from Red Bank, right? He said your line art is so cool. I love
Thank
it.
you. Appreciate it, guy. Germany. People are waiting for bigger crashes. I know, but you know what? Just because you're waiting for something doesn't mean it's going to come. And I'm not saying that there won't be a bigger crash. I'm not saying that Bitcoin won't go down to $10,000. I hope it does, because I'll buy more if it hits $10,000. I have been reaccumulating during this bear market, reaccumulating the Bitcoin that I sold at not the peak of the bear, but I sold my Bitcoin when it was 50,000. And so now I'm in back in reaccumulation zone, because that's how you play the crypto market. I mean, unless you're a day trader. That's not my bag. Obviously, I sucked at day trading, so.
Yeah, but it's all substantially down. But I would say of all the cryptocurrencies, obviously Bitcoin has the most underpinning, I would say, unless you're talking about a stable coin.
By that you just mean liquidity?
I mean viewed most widely accepted as store of value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I think Chainlink has their conference or whatever this weekend, right? Is it this weekend or this week?
I'm not sure. I've been so laser focused on politics.
Oh yeah. Well, they're going to announce at least they're probably at least going to announce that they're going to have staking, and then probably some other pretty high end application announcements as well. So could be a good bump on Chainlink once all that stuff comes out. That's when
Fabio says, I bought some more XRP when it went up to 32 cents. That's cool.
Oof. I have no faith in XRP.
You know, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell what will have legs, what will really have utility long term.
Well, I just don't see the use case for XRP once banks and countries start having their own freaking centralized cryptocurrencies.
Have you started using Cash App yet? Is that one of the things you use?
Yeah, I have Cash App.
Yeah,
I don't use it much, but there's some people that use it that I need to pay.
My wife uses that, and I've been surprised by how fast the transfers are.
Yeah. And they're who owns Cash App? Is that Twitter?
Maybe. I know Twitter owns Square, or what's his face on Square.
Oh yeah, Jack Dorsey. So he can't own both of those.
Probably not.
All
right. I am going to have to do some political work soon. I've got to do some more writing tonight. Are you going to keep going, or you want to draw it down?
No, I'll wrap it up. I will wrap it up. That lawsuit is versus the SEC. I'm just hedging my bets. Yeah, I mean, you can hedge your bets, and I'm sure it will go up. but I just think long term it doesn't have a use case. Because the banks they're going to want to transfer cryptocurrencies, and if there's like a crypto dollar, which there's going to be, there's a crypto yuan, a crypto ruble, crypto whatever. Why would they bother? What's XRP's use case? The exchange. You don't have to have an exchange. You could have a market where you're trading US dollars directly to the ruble or whatever, a one-to-one exchange. Where's the XRP come in at that point?
That's a good question.
Right? Doesn't make any sense to me. So that's why I'm out. I was an early investor in XRP back when it was like 5 cents. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me now. Anyways, thanks everybody. I hope you got yourself a Enemies of Self, Shadow of the Conqueror, Enemies of Self. Here, let me send that into there. I showed the pages. You guys know my work, I hope. It's a great story. Edwin hasn't read the whole thing yet, but I'm sure it's hard for me to just sit here and say it's a great story because I'm the writer. But it's a great story anyways. Shad obviously wrote the novel. I did the adaptation. Actually, Shad is very heavy. I don't want to say heavy-handed in the negative sense, but he was very helpful in the adaptation process. And so we just put together a great, complete storyline in this 48-page graphic novel. So get in there and go throw $500 at the Superfan Collector's Bundle if you're so inclined. If not, whatever. Grab one of the other ones. There's lots of choices.
Buy a copy of Shadow of the Conqueror and listen to the lamentations of the John Malin.
All right. God bless us, everyone.
Aloha.
Aloha.